Hello and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Amana and we have so much to catch up on. It's been a while since I have posted a YouTube video. You probably have noticed that. And if you are new here, I love to post Disney vlogs. However, I've been taking a step back just to reevaluate my channel. But in today's video, we have some catching up to do and I'm gonna take you guys through everything DVC because I actually just bought a new Disney Vacation Club contract and I wanna talk to you guys about it. I'm gonna give you guys everything that you need to know when you are becoming a DVC member or if you're adding on as a current member. So this video is for you. If you want to see just specifically that, I'll put the time right here so you guys can just hop over to it. But if you want the channel updates and just life updates, I would love for you to stay for this section. So let's get to chatting. I have a crispy Diet Coke here, so grab your bevy of choice. Let's sit and yes, let's yap. So starting off with some channel updates. So I was trying to figure out how I wanted to move forward. There has been so much new stuff going on in my life and I just wanted to make sure that I could show up and still be my authentic and transparent self on YouTube and not feel like I'm just making myself make these videos. So I wanted to just take a step back, reevaluate what I was posting and the content that I was producing for you guys. So we are going to be posting every Sunday from now on. I have made a commitment for myself to not miss a Sunday. So if you have not seen my channel, I love to go to Walt Disney World. I am a Disneyland local. I have a Magic Key and I'm a Disney Vacation Club member. So there's a lot to talk about on this channel. Some weeks there's going to be multiple videos and that's going to be those weeks where I am traveling. So you'll see a lot of videos during that time, and then when traveling stops, then we'll go back to once a week. And if I do decide to change that, I will update you guys and let you know. So those are going to be the channel updates. Now for my big announcement, my life update, I just signed with Marvelous Mouse Travel. So I am now a travel agent that specializes in Disney destinations. I have actually been to all 12 of the Disney parks around the world. I have my Asia vlog series, my Disneyland Paris series. I never posted it because that was like when I was really starting to think about content creation and I just I didn't love the content. So I do plan on going back to Disneyland Paris now that they're opening the new Frozen land. So we will have that there, but I have been to every single Disney destination around the world, excluding Aulani. I've been to Hawaii, but I have not been to Aulani, and I do plan on staying there within the near future. So I do plan to do that. However, I now specialize in travel for the Disney destination. So if you would like me to help you plan your most magical vacation, there is an email down below, or you can head to one of my socials where you can fill out the form in my bio and I would be happy to set you guys up. I love planning. If you haven't seen any of my planning vlogs, I love planning. That's like my #1 favorite thing to do when it comes to Disney. I feel like that's like not as exciting as the trip, but it's the most exciting part of the trip for me, like just getting to plan it and then see it come to fruition. So that is going to be the big announcement. So if you have any Disney travel that you have coming up, or if you've planned a Disney vacation within the last 30 days, hit me up. And if you need help, I can help you with that. I'd be happy to give you guys my expertise and just some of my tips and tricks that I like to use when I go to the Disney parks. So that is my big announcement. I'm so excited for that. But yeah, other than that, like life has been lifing. I've been so busy with onboarding for Marvelous Mouse Travels, just trying to get my feet under me and just really trying to get into content creation. I do still have a 9-to-5 job, so keeping on top of that and doing this, it's just been a lot, and I just wanted to make sure that I was giving you guys my best and not just half putting anything out. So we are back and we're ready. Every Sunday we're gonna be having some content, but let's get into Disney Vacation Club. Something else that I forgot to mention was this is my new like recording area. Let me know what you guys think about it. I am still trying to figure out what I want to do back here because I have like my Run Disney medals and I have just things that I want to put up around here. So we are going to be building this little recording nook. This is where I like to sit and work and just, you know, do all of my content for you guys. So if you have seen me sitting here on TikTok and Instagram, this is my new little recording area outside of like when I go and do vlogs. So I'm very excited to sit here and really produce things for you guys. But yeah, let's get into DVC. So I have my laptop here. I pulled up my DVC cost calculator. If you have not heard of the DVC cost calculator, I created a calculator through Google Sheets, and this helped me compare prices between resale and direct membership. So I'm a resale member. I purchased Disney Vacation Club back in 2024. If you haven't seen that video, it's down below. But I was trying to figure out what I could afford if this was the most feasible option for me, and I came across a really great resale contract. Well, I've been a DVC member for a year now. My year came up November, I believe it was like 14th. And I had told myself I needed to do a full year before doing add-ons, because when they say Add-Onitis is real, it is real. I went to add-on within 3 months. I was like, I need more points. But no, I told myself a year, and I had been going back and forth if I wanted to do resale or direct. I was very against direct memberships at first because of the price point. I felt like it was just so expensive, and I didn't really see a true value in the membership if you bought direct because of some of the perks. I felt like there should have been a little bit more perks buying direct. However, I went to Walt Disney World in September with my family, and now this is not guaranteed. I think I just got lucky. The cast members did not care that I was resale. They were giving me my discounts, letting me go into the lounges. Like, they just didn't care. And I say that with a grain of salt, because they could have just told me no at any point in time, because I did not qualify for those perks. But that is just what my experience was when I went in September. So I was like, oh, I got to see the member lounges. I got to the perks. The discount was massive because I don't get discounts at Walt Disney World. I get discounts at Disneyland. So typically I was waiting for merch to come over to Disneyland, or we would have it at Disneyland first, so I wouldn't really buy too much at Walt Disney World. But we saved so much money on the merch. It was just insane. And if we weren't on the dining plan, I think we would have saved a lot of money on dining as well. So I was like, let me look into direct a little bit more. So I am now a direct member through Disney. I actually qualify for direct benefits. And if you do not know, in order to qualify for the direct benefits, you have to purchase a contract that is 150 points or more as of today. That can change at any point. Disney can lower it, they can increase it at any point in time. But as of today, this video, when I released it in December of 2025, they require 150 points. So I chose to do the Riviera as my home resort, and I was going back and forth about if I wanted to add on at the Poly again or what I wanted to do. But I love the Skyliner area. I love the boardwalk. I love the Epcot area. I love the Hollywood Studios area. Like, I love all of that. I find myself over there a lot more than I am anywhere else. Like, if I'm not on the monorail loop, I'm at Epcot. And I didn't love the boardwalk when I stayed there. I didn't think that purchasing at the boardwalk or anything along the boardwalk would be in my best interest in the long run because of the deed expirations, but also just because I just didn't love the stay. I've go to the Riviera frequently because I love Bar Riva. I love Primo Piatto. And I just had the Petite Cafe very recently, and the coffee is phenomenal. It is so good. So I've never stayed at the Riviera, but the rooms are very similar to the Poly, and I've stayed at the Poly. So I was like, okay, like either I do the Poly or I do the Riviera. So I decided to choose the Riviera as my home resort because I wanted the 11-month window along the Skyliner. So I now own 150 points at the Riviera, and I closed on that contract on December 1st of 2025. So we're gonna get into the numbers and timeframes of purchasing Disney Vacation Club. So I started talking to my DVC guide, Rob. He is amazing. I absolutely loved him. He made it so easy for me. And I made it very clear that I wanted to purchase it at my 1 year mark because I'm giving myself 1 year. And he did not push me. He guided me. He gave me a few options because there were some great deals, but I told him I understand the deals, but I'm gonna wait just in case I didn't want to do it. So we're gonna get into the time frames of everything when it comes to purchasing Disney Vacation Club, and I'm gonna give you my exact numbers of what my contract cost. So I have 150 points at the Poly, and I decided that I did not want to start until my 1 year, like on the dot. And we started talking about the cost of it and what the benefits would be starting around like September. And Disney Vacation Club allows you 60 days from the day you put down your initial deposit to pay off your balance, whether you're paying in full or whether you are financing. So I gave $500 beginning October 3rd, and I had 60 days from that day to pay that balance down. So it would have been December 3rd if I think it was like December 1st or something like that, but December 1st to pay off the either the full amount or to pay the deposit that was required to finance the overall loan amount for the Disney Vacation Club. So I put that down in October. My overall membership was $35,350. And then they had a deal going on where if you bought 150 points, they would give you $3,000 towards your closing cost or the overall membership. And that brought my overall membership down to $32,350. So I'm going to be completely transparent. I financed my contract. I understand that there's a lot of there's a lot of discourse about it. So I don't really get into if you should finance or not. Do what is best for you. This was what was best for me because shelling out $35,000 was not something I wanted to do, especially because of the climate that we were in. I just needed a little bit of a cushion at the time, because that's when the government shut down and all that stuff was happening. So I was like, let me not do that. But I did want to secure it because I did have a vacation coming up that I wanted to use my points for. So the day that I put my $500 down, they gave me my points right away. Right away. Contract wasn't closed. I hadn't signed anything, nothing. I could just go and book everything that I wanted to. I literally booked all of my points. I used them all. I used every single point. And that's fine. I knew I was going on these trips. So $32,350 is what I was working with. And then the closing costs were $893.02. So when you're paying the overall price, you'll include the $893. So that brings the total price of the contract to $33,143.02. And you also have to pay your annual dues, but you don't pay your annual dues for about 45 days. Like they said 30 to 45 days until after your closing date. So I'm looking at paying my annual dues around the same time that we have to pay the annual dues for the entire year. And the annual dues are prorated. So they're prorated from the day in which they load your points. So my annual dues are going to be $339 from the day that I got my points to the end of December, because dues are from January to December. So that is the numbers in which I have been working with. And I absolutely was like, this is a lot of money. This is a lot of money. However, the amount of vacations that I was able to book was so many. Like I was like, oh, I think this is actually too much. But I absolutely wanted the benefits. So having 150 points was definitely worth it. But you get so many stays out of this, especially like if you are a family, because it's just me, and typically it would just be me and someone else, and then it would be me and my mom and my sister. So we would just need a studio. So I wouldn't have to have, a 1 bedroom, a 2 bedroom all the time. It would be a studio most of the time. So I think I was able to put my points towards, I think, like 6 stays. And that's like my regular, like 4 to 5 days, because the Riviera's point chart is so small. So I'm sorry if you can hear my dog. Also, she has the zoomies right now. But yeah, so it was a lot of points. And so now I have a total of 250 points, because I have my 100 points with the Poly, and then I have my 150 with the Riviera. So I have a lot of points now. However, we're going to get into the benefits of resale versus direct, and what my thoughts of being a resale member for a year has been, and if I'm going to do it again. So Resale versus direct, and what are the real benefits of each? I absolutely love the way in which I bought my Disney Vacation Club membership. I love being a hybrid member because one, you're saving money, and two, like, this is just a really great option if you do not need a lot of points and you're okay with not having the restrictions. And by the restrictions, I mean there's some resorts that you cannot book at, and that would be like the Riviera, the Disneyland Hotel, and the cabins at Fort Wilderness. So if those are the main restrictions that you do not care about, I 100% say go Resale. Now, with me owning my own business now and being a travel advisor, as well as having my content and producing all of the things that I do within my business, I needed a space to work, and I was able to work in the member lounges, and that was just so refreshing, just being able to have a space that was calm and you can grab like coffee and waters and just be able to be like engulfed in the magic. I absolutely loved that for my business. It was just really a great addition that I enjoy working at now. So the member lounges are great. I do wish they had like a little bar setting somewhere. I wish that they had a little bit more to offer, but we do have Top of the World, so I'm really excited to try that out. However, there was just some things that I felt FOMO of, and I don't want to say in a way in which like I was missing out, because I would have never known about this stuff regardless if I didn't really look into Disney Vacation Club. But when you're in Disney Vacation Club and you see all of the stuff that they're offering and you don't qualify for it, it makes you feel some type of way. I was like, oh, well, you know, because there's a Moonlight Magic at Disney's California Adventure coming up in February. Now, it's not guaranteed that I can get in. I know that it is really tough to get into Moonlight Magic, but not even having the opportunity kind of made me feel, I don't know what the best word is, but in either way, I didn't feel great about it. Like, I feel like my membership didn't matter as a Resale member, and that's just me being very transparent about it. I felt like even though I paid a decent amount of money, I'm a part of this club, and because I didn't go direct and shell out all of this money, like I don't get to go and have fun with other DVC members like that. I feel like if they have like other events, they should invite everybody that's like either if you're Resale or you're not, because it doesn't matter. We're all staying at the same place. Like, and I think that's the biggest thing that I just was I was feeling over the last year, especially as someone who goes to Disney as frequently as I do. Like, just not having the opportunities to do that just made me reevaluate what I thought was valuable about the membership. So having the opportunities now as a Disney Vacation Club member is really nice. The next thing that I was evaluating was the annual pass. And I was very against getting the annual pass because I didn't really purchase tickets like that. I was at the point to where I was like, oh, if I'm just gonna hang out at the resorts most of the time. But having the opportunity to just bounce in and bounce out of the parks is gonna be a really nice addition, and not having to buy the Incredipass, because the Incredipass is so expensive. It's $1,800, and we now qualify for the Sorcerer Pass, which is $1,100. And being able to go and just pop in and pop out with minimal blockout dates really helps with planning, especially if I'm going, like, I don't have to think about, okay, now I have to pay an extra $300 and now I have to pay another $400. Okay, the tickets this week are really expensive. Like, those are things that I was thinking about while I was, you know, in my first year of Disney Vacation Club, because there are additional costs. And I did a video on my TikTok of the additional costs that come with being a Disney Vacation Club member, but I'll chat about it a little bit here. Paying for your tickets, paying for your flights, all of that stuff is not included in this membership, so you have to weigh that out too. So yes, like, saving all of that money on my resale contract did help me, you know, pay for everything, but as time progresses, those savings don't really like matter later down the line, because Disney is always going to increase. Disney is always increasing their annual dues, are increasing their passes, they're increasing hotel stays. Everything within Disney is going to increase as the economy moves and flows. That's just the name of the game when it comes to owning a business. So I had to think about, okay, how can I cut my costs down and still be able to utilize this membership to its full potential? Because what is the point of me having this if I can't afford to pay for tickets to go to Disney? Especially like the tickets that I have for my upcoming trip, those were $800. That's a lot of money for a 5-day ticket. And imagine I usually go for a week most of the time. So $800 every time I go is just not something that I thought was feasible. So having the option to have the Sorcerer Pass, which was a little less expensive, and the blackout dates are during times I'm not going. Like I'm going this year just because the opportunity came, but I will not be doing it anytime soon after that. So having that ability to have the annual pass has really changed my perspective on all of this. So with that being said, resale versus direct, I think it really comes down to what you value the most. And I really like that I was able to experience the resale side of it first, because I feel like that's a tester. You're able to get your feet wet with the membership, really get to know how everything works. That's how I ended up choosing Riviera, because I know about the 11-month window, the 7-month window, how to get my reservations, how to piece them together, what are the best times to go, how to get certain room types. Like I feel like I figured all that out my first year, and doing that on such a big like balance, like this $35,000, I would have just been lost because there's no one to really walk you through this. Now it's not complicated. I'm not saying that it's difficult to be a DVC member, but there's a lot that comes with it, and there's a lot of benefits that come with it. So I absolutely love being a hybrid member. So moving forward, I gave myself a limit. My limit is 300 points. And the reason why I have a limit is because of the annual dues. I think where people get, like they get into trouble and people start worrying is when their annual dues get really bad. So I'm gonna give you guys an idea of what my annual dues were for 2025 and what they're going to be for 2026. So for 2025, I paid a total of $1,131 in annual dues. For my poly contract, I have 100 points, and those annual dues were $7.92. So I paid $792, and then I'm paying the $330.39 for my Riviera contract that I just started. In 2026, now that I'll have both contracts in full, the annual dues for the poly increased to $8.33. So I'll be paying $833 for my annual dues. And then the Riviera, my dues per point was $9.45, and I'll be paying $1,417.50 for annual dues. So over the last 2 years, I paid $3,381.50 in annual dues, which I don't think that that's bad. That number right there is what some people pay every year or more. And I don't see myself wanting to do that. So in 2026, just to give you an idea, it's $2,250.50. That is how much my stay at Pop Century was in October of 2024 for an entire week. I went for 8 days, 7 nights, and that's how much it was with the tickets in the hotel. That's it. Didn't include anything else. So for me to pay that for the entire year to have as many stays as I'm going to have is crazy. Like it is so crazy. So annual dues is what really gets people in trouble. And I just think that having 300 points is a solid area for me to maintain, and I don't need any more than that. I feel like 250 right now is a lot. So I'm going back and forth about the Grand Californian, or if I want to add on at the Poly again. I really want to do the Grand Californian because I want to stay at the Grand Californian for Christmas every year. Like that, my very first day, I can't get it out of my mind. So that's what I'm aiming towards right now. But every time my guide reached out to me, it's just not the right time. And that's another thing that I want to talk to you guys about. The right time. Do not rush this purchase. If you find a really great resale and you can afford it, no matter how you decide to purchase for it, like I'm not going to tell you to finance it or pay cash, whatever is best for you, because you know what's best for you. I say go for it. But if it's not the right time, it's not the right time, and something will come available. We have Lakeshore Lodge coming up. I'm very excited to see what that looks like and what that has to offer, and what the points and how we're going to be able to reserve that looks like. But overall, like when the right time comes, purchase your DVC contract, because whether that be resale or direct. I hope I gave you guys enough information for you to kind of grasp what I went through over the last year. It was a little tough. I was confused a lot of the time, but that is what this channel is for. I'm gonna talk you guys through all of my mistakes and all of my wins with Disney Vacation Club throughout the rest of this channel. Whatever I learn, I'm gonna pass it on to you, because I am an open book. I think that there's no secret to this. I just like to share my experiences. However, if you're also looking at trying to crunch the numbers, my DVC cost calculator is linked down below. It's in my stand store, and you guys will be able to go through the different memberships, compare and contrast, calculate your annual dues. If you're purchasing it with a loan, be able to log your loan payments and when you're going to pay it off. And there's a lot that the DVC cost calculator allows you to do. It's in the description of my stand store. But that's everything that I have been doing with my DVC membership for the Riviera. That was a lot for us to chat about. Yeah, I'm a travel advisor that specializes in Disney destinations. This channel, we're up, we're running, and we have a very fun trip coming up. My next video will be our trip announcement, so I'm very excited for you guys to see what we're going to be doing and what we have planned. And make sure to hit that subscribe button for all of the DVC content, all of the Disney content. We have a big year in 2026. I'm so excited for what's going to come for this channel. I want to thank you guys so much for joining my little corner of the internet. I absolutely love doing this, and I am so glad to be back. Hit that subscribe button, follow me on socials, because you guys can see my trips live when I'm at the parks. So follow me on my socials, and I will see you real soon. Bye.